And now, Spearsy is back for part 2 of Warcraft. So this is what's up. Okay? So, like I was saying, the dual spec. I'm not even going to go into that. That's too complicated. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about unless you play. So I'm sorry about that. Forgive me. But, anyways, moving on. The Druid is really cool. It actually might be my favorite class. My Priest is my strongest character. He's full. I can't level him anymore or anything like that. But I love my Druid. My Druid really, when I got to create him, he took over at most of my time of play. So, it's really cool. I am going to kind of talk about my specs, though, because this is why I like the Druid so much. My cousin made one when we first started playing, and I really liked it. Druids get forms. Druids are like the people of nature. So, they have a few different forms. They have a bear form, which, if you spec your guy feral, you would use because he's the tank. There's a cat form, which is a rogue. He can use stealth and go invisible and things like that, which is really cool. You would also spec it feral, but you'd have to put your stuff in a few different places. It gets a little bit complicated for the Druid. You really got to make sure you're putting your talents all in the right spots for it to utilize what you want it to utilize. And then there's an aquatic form, which makes it to where you can go in the water and swim underwater as long as you want. You don't have to worry about running out of breath. You swim faster. I want to say it's 60% speed, but I could be wrong. I probably am. But it's nice. So that's 3 forms, and then later on you get the dire bear form, which is just it changes your form just a little bit. Like it adds some color into it and some shapes like the colors in the shape on the bear. He's just a stronger form of the bear form. Then there's the travel form that you get, which is a cheetah when you run on land at, I believe, 30%. Which that's nice because then you can use that to move along before you get your mounts, which I haven't talked about mounts yet. I'm going to save that for towards the end. Hopefully this doesn't have to go into a part 3, but it might because there's a lot to do with Warcraft. So, you've got the travel form then, and there's one last form, but you only get this form if you put your talents in balance, which is also a DPS spec, which is damage per second. That's what it stands for, which is a damage dealer, and it's like a rogue, but balance your casting. In there, you get what is called the Moonkin form, which when you start a character, if you start one that goes to a place called Darkshore, you'll see some things that are called Wildkin, and they're like big chickens. They have like chicken faces, and then they have they're like Yetis. I guess they're more like Yetis with chicken faces. They have like feathers, and they're real tall. They have clawed feet and hands. But that's basically your Moonkin form. That's what you end up looking like. Except for your colors, I want to say are like a light blue and like a gray. Don't take my word for it. I'm colorblind. But that's really cool. I really, really, really like the balance. I'm more of a casting person. I like casters. So like warlocks, mages, priests. I don't like melee as much. I'm not as good with it, is why I don't like it. And then finally, there's another form that you only get if you go restoration, which is the healer. And that's called the Tree of Life. They've changed the Tree of Life to where now it's just you turn into it for a certain amount of time and you heal in it and then you turn back. Before it was a complete form. You turned into it, you can just run around in the form. Healing druids have really good AoE heals, which is area of effect, which is heals that affect everybody at once, or the group. That if they're close enough, it affects your group all at once. Instead of doing one at a time, you just heal them all at once. Sometimes the heals aren't as strong as what they would be for like a priest. If you would just cast it on one, you're going to do like a critical heal for all their health and they're almost dead. With a druid, more than likely you're not going to do a critical heal for a bunch of different people doing an area of effect heal. They are powerful though, don't get me wrong. They have very, very powerful heals. They do, they really do. But I, with my dual spec one, have my main spec as balance, because like I said, I'm a caster. And my other one as feral, which I'm specking it towards the tank spec, because I do want to try it out. You use the bear form and things like that. It's harder because druids only wear leather, so it's usually hard to find the leather stuff with the right buffs on it for a tanking character. At least I find it hard to get. I was running lots of dungeons and things like that, trying to get gear for my tank spec, and it wasn't really working out. I mean, I would get too high level for anything that dropped that could have been used for my balance spec, but what's the point of that? If I want it, I just sold it. If anything did pop up, I would need it, which that's when things that are good that drop, and you could use them, you get either a greed, which is a dice, or a need. Or no, I'm sorry, need, which is a dice, and greed, which is a gold coin. Whichever one you pick, that's what it rolls as. If you hit need, you're going to automatically win if nobody else needs. If somebody else needs, then you have to beat their roll. So, say they get a 70 and you get a 100. You win the need, so it's yours. If you're the one that needs, you get it. If everyone greeds, whoever gets the highest roll on the greed gets it. Then you just go sell it, or if it's possible, send it to another character that you have, or anything like that, which is it's also cool. But it's an amazing game. I know I did not tell you the enemy of Cataclysm, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. The enemy is Deathwing, which also plays on the past of Warcraft 2, I believe. Don't hold me to that one either, because I'm not sure completely. But the dragon aspects have all been defeated because Deathwing, went and turned evil. Well, that dragon turned into Deathwing, and he's out to destroy Azeroth. So that's what you're doing. You're powering up. You're going from Lich King, which was the 80 max, to the Cataclysm max of 85. I mean, which 5 level increase, but they also made it a little bit harder to level up, but not much. They said when they were releasing it, they were like, yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder, but not too much of a challenge, because we don't lose people and things like that. But it's really good game. I highly, highly, highly recommend World of Warcraft if you have time for it. if you already are trying to, fit little games or fit shows or fit family time, like playing games with the family or whatever, board games, trying to fit, if you're already struggling to fit things in, do not start World of Warcraft unless you have hours of free time. World of Warcraft, if you like it, will consume you for the first year or so. World of Warcraft is one of those games, if it catches you, that's all you're going to be sitting in front of the computer, laptop, desktop, whatever you have, Mac, whatever you have, you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be playing World of Warcraft hours straight. You're going to be you're going to look at a clock, like, oh, cool, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to play Warcraft. You look back at the next time you look at the clock, you're like, holy crap, it's 8 o'clock at night. I mean, it can actually be that way. I had days where I would come home from work at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I wouldn't be going to bed till the next morning, and the sun was up, like 7 o'clock. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's just like, man, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. When Burning Crusade came out, I had been playing Warcraft for, I think, a year or two. I really was like, oh man, I'm still so into it. And then when Lich King came out, I had already taken a break from the game. I started playing Lich King. I played that for a while, did all my stuff, got to level 80, things like that. Then I took a huge break, like a 1.5 year break. And then when they talked about the release of Cataclysm, I bought that. I played that for a while, got to 85, did a few things, and again, I haven't played for a while. It's only been months though. It's been like maybe six months since I've played World of Warcraft. They actually gave me 7 free days, and I took it, but I actually did not play at all. It ended, I think, 2 days ago or a day ago. I didn't use it at all. It's just not. It's like I said, World of Warcraft. It's an obsession at first, but the problem with obsessions and things like that is once you get tired of them, you take huge breaks or you just never go back to them at all. And I might not ever go back to Warcraft at all because it's just lately I have not had any desire to play it. I do love the game though. There's plenty of people that are not like me that keep playing and keep playing and keep playing and keep playing. I mean, I could get on right now if I had the time, which when I'm using time in this way, I mean game time. I would see people that have been playing since I started that I've met through the game. You just add them to your friends list because you got along with them well, or they were really strong and they helped you out. They still play today. I mean, there's some of them that don't touch the game. There's some of them that sold their accounts to family members or other people because they're not into the game anymore. I'll probably always keep the game. Every now and then I'll buy time for it and play. But right now I'm in my break mode where I don't want to play Warcraft. It is an amazing game. I can't take anything away from Warcraft. Warcraft is awesome. It's my only PC game that I enjoy. I don't like playing computer games. I really don't. But World of Warcraft, it's fun. You get to go online, you play with other people. Another warning, Warcraft is huge. If you do not have a good computer, do not put it on your computer. Do not. Because all you're going to do is slow your computer down, and it's not worth it. The game won't play right. You'll get what they call lag, where you'll be running, and all of a sudden, sometimes your character will just be running in place. And then next thing you know, it's telling you got disconnected and things like that. And it's just make sure you have something good to play on. be careful with what you do on your computer after you do put Warcraft on. Don't go around messing with the settings inside your computer for Warcraft unless you really know what you're doing with computers, because you will ruin the game, and the game is hard to fix. You can uninstall it and reinstall it, and it'll still be messed up. So definitely game that is worth it if you have the time and you have the technology appropriate to play the game. A lot of people have a fascination with a game called Aeon. It's good too. It's a lot like it. It's an MMORPG. Not my type of game, but hey, World of Warcraft. Go WoW!